Hello everyone, welcome back to Exanima. It's been probably the best part of a year since I did anything on this game on this channel. I've been playing it constantly since that time though. It's received a number of substantial updates. The updates for this game are always significant and dramatically alter and improve the experience of playing it. Unfortunately they aren't that regular. There has just been another beta update. We're on 6.5.2 at the moment, and the most significant thing that this update has added is outdoor environments in the arena mode. So we're going to do a bit of arena today. Now, I think it's probably safe to assume that the majority of you guys who would watch this probably didn't watch my other Exanima videos. I was really new to YouTube at that point and didn't really have much of an idea of what I was doing, and also much of an idea of how to play this game. This game is really difficult and it requires a lot of kind of concentration and stuff, which makes it hard to let's play, but it's still really fun to watch even when you're losing. So we will do just a quick practice arena at this point, just so I can quickly sort of go over the basics of combat again. I won't be too in-depth, but just assuming that you didn't see my other videos, it would make sense to do that. So let's call this guy... let's call him Sven. Because why not? He looks like a Sven. So we can change the character's physique. We can have them thin and rakish, muscly and taut, fat and muscly, or just fat. Fat's actually pretty good. This is a very difficult game to kind of explain the physics of. It runs on kind of a really interesting purpose-built, custom-built engine, and it's like kind of very based in momentum and that kind of thing. We can alter our guy's height and age as well. So I'm pretty tall. And wow, that was an interesting glitch. His wig came off. Yeah, that'll do. So, I'm not going to take too long doing this. The paper doll feature is really cool. I'm going to be a male character though, because the female character has naked boobs. I don't think that YouTube allows that, and it would just take a lot of time for me to sort of censor the boobs in the video I record, and then to re-encode the video and re-upload it. I just want to get these things out quickly. So I've decided I'm going to go back to this game and try and do more than I think I made just 2 videos on it before. So we're in combat. As you can see, it's a top-down view. Since I last made... okay, I think the other guy appears to be staying put until I get close enough to him. So this gives me a bit of opportunity here. So you have 2 modes. You can toggle with tab, the cursor. When the cursor turns to the red circle, that puts you in combat mode. It means your character will automatically turn and face the cursor, and also strafe around it, like so. You hold down left mouse to attack. The double swing in both directions is a skill which you can bolt onto your character. As they gain experience, you can add more skills. You can double click to do an overhead. You can alt and click with varying momentum to do a thrust. You can also combine that with forward motion, even with like backward motion, which is really interesting. That's the basics. In order to parry an attack or block one, you simply point your weapon towards where the enemy's attack is coming from, which we will see now. Now I've picked the two-handed claymore, and you see the guy doesn't normally fall straight away like that. The fact that he was taken to the ground by that initial swing was because the momentum of my attack, the direction of it, the velocity of it, and the way that he was sort of positioned when it hit him, caught him under the chin and sent him flying backwards, and he actually lost his balance. All characters, including your own, have a proper system of balance and that kind of thing, which makes it, without a doubt, the most realistic kind of medieval melee combat game I've ever played. Now, there are games, different kinds of games coming out now which tackle melee combat in very interesting ways. I feel like the Souls series was quite a game changer in that respect, because before then it was kind of just things like Skyrim, where you're just kind of weightlessly whacking your sword on the enemy until it runs out of HP. But there are things like Kingdom Come Deliverance, which I showed in a video recently, which do interesting and tactical things with their combat. In this practice mode, by the way, we can take things and add them to our inventory. As you can see, we have secondary loads as well, so what I can do is equip this pole arm to my secondary load, and then we can press the R key to toggle between different load sets. So what I will probably do actually is, because there is some equipment lying around on the edges here, for my secondary load I will do a one-handed weapon and this buckler. That means that we have just a very different option if we decide we want one. But I'm going to stick with the two-hander for now. We can also loot bodies in this mode, which we can't do in the normal arena mode, so you get slightly better kind of armor and clothing items as you progress through this little arena. As you can see, you can layer clothing, so we have the basic shirt that we got at the start, and then over that we can put a tunic, over the tunic a waistcoat, or, you know, a bit of plate mail. Over the sleeves of the shirt we can do vambraces and also gloves, pauldrons on the shoulders, plates on the shins, or like high boots like I have now. The focus really is on depth and realism. You saw how quickly I took that guy out then. That was because different areas of the body and the ways that those bodily areas are covered by armor and equipment affects greatly the amount of damage that you do. So what happened there was that once again I caught him under the chin on the throat with the blade, which knocked him backwards to the ground, and then I just did an overhead downward swing onto his head. Basically, two strong high velocity blows to the head with a two-handed sword will floor an enemy. So just shows you like how quickly things can go wrong for anyone. Oh, and we also have dual wielding now, which we didn't have last time I played this game. So we can give that a try, I guess. Let's give that a try next. I really suck at dual wielding, but it's nice to have it. In fact, it probably isn't nice to have it against a guy with a super sledgehammer, because our range compared to his is now severely limited. You can see he's taking advantage of that by doing overheads and forward thrusting attacks, wide sweeps when I'm within the range of his long sledgehammer. That's why I opted for the two-handed sword in the first place, because the additional range it gives you is an enormous advantage if you aren't particularly pro at sweeping under attacks. Oh, you can also crouch, as you can see, or you can duck under attacks by holding C, which is particularly useful later in the main dungeon crawl when you encounter larger non-human enemies. So we're getting some better equipment here. We have some head coverage there in the form of a cap, a chain vest, waistcoat, cloth shirt, probably, yeah, I can change that. Cloth trousers, again, probably slightly better coverage. And I'm going to switch back to the claymore just because this person has a shield and an axe, and the axe, unless you're wearing metal armor, can do unforeseen amounts of damage. Any sort of slashing and chopping weapons, if they catch you on naked flesh, I think that attack got me on the hand, so you can see at the bottom how much damage that did. The area of your health bar which is covered by the red is the area which you will not automatically recover after combat. The area which is like faded out brown colour, once you have ended combat, it will regenerate. and you can regenerate a small amount of HP from the red zone in between battles. So that will slightly improve. Got some Van Braces there. Take the shield. So we get set up with various attacks. You can see it's showing us a little bit of advice at the top there. So we can set up an attack and then let go to feint into a parry, and that means that rather than swinging the sword all the way around, we can stop it halfway around and block the other attack. You can also, like I say, we have the double swing. These are just things which normally you would have to build up yourself using global experience. This guy can be tricky because he has a better two-handed sword than what we've got. So if we get through this, we will take it. But this is a preset arena, so the enemies you encounter are always the same each time. So let's have that for a start. The enemies you encounter are always the same each time, so you know that what you're going to be facing. But some gloves, okay. But in the normal arena mode, you don't know. And in the normal arena mode, it isn't just dueling one-on-one. There are many different kinds. There's pugilism, which is one-on-one fist fighting with no weapons. There is duel, which is like this. Challenger, which is a duel against an opponent who is one level stronger than the level of the match you enter. There is elimination, which is basically like this, a series of one-on-one duels of marginally increasing difficulty. Skirmish, which is... Skirmish and doubles are like where you have multiple enemies going in from your side. So you have to hire and recruit CPU-controlled characters to fight alongside you. And so doubles is like 2-on-2. Then you have Fray, which is... I'm losing a bit of HP here. We'll take that sword for our secondary load, I think. And she has shoulder plates, which are good. Gloves. She has leg guards, which we can then swap, and for the boots, combine them with shoes like so. A bigger shield. Some sort of chain vest thing. Probably better Van Braces. Okay, let's see how we do in the next one. Come on then. So this guy has like a poleaxe, which has an incredible reach and particularly brutal impact damage on it. Now, as you can see, when he hit me with the attack, I didn't actually lose any... I didn't actually get any wound damage, only like knock damage, which is the damage that you can recover from. That's because it hit areas which are well covered by tough armor. However, if you get down to the bottom of your health bar with that kind of damage, you are defeated like so, which basically means you are knocked unconscious. If you see at the bottom here, my HP only actually reduced by this much, but the rest of it was impact sort of damage. What that means is when that gets to the bottom is you are knocked unconscious, and in the main game you sort of wake up a little bit later with your weapons like dropped on the ground next to you and a little bit of HP restored. In the arena it means that you just lose the match and some HP. Whereas if you are killed, then your character is deleted permanently. So, now we have a better idea of the kind of thing we're going for. I will continue my arena game here. This is a character I started and just played maybe 15 minutes of the arena, just to test out the new outdoor areas, which are great. It's a big deal having outdoor areas in this game, bigger than it sounds, because it's such a claustrophobic, creepy, lowly lit environment to be playing in anyway. But This is, of course, a prelude to a game called Sui Generis, which is an open-world, overworld version of this concept. And so, having outdoor environments is a really nice preview of what's coming in that. Hopefully we will see some in this video. Now, what I've done is, basically when you create a character, you can choose one skill. I chose Remise, which is where you can do the double swing. You can then choose, you only have these basic rag clothings like you have in the practice arena at the start. And you can choose one single basic weapon for your character to start with at the lowest level, which is inept. I chose this two-handed metal bar. As you can see, it's just the weapon that you have at the start that has long reach. Now this is the hub. You have a shop here. They've just added a shopkeeper into it as well. So it's basically you have bronze, silver and gold coins. 10 bronze equals 1 silver. 10 silver equals 1 gold. So I've just done a few matches here, and these are the items that are for sale. They're all quite expensive. Now you just sort of think, maybe I would save up and get this great two-handed sword. However, the rank of that weapon is Adept, which means that we can't use it until we are Adept rank, and that means also that we can only use that weapon when we pay into Adept level matches. I'll show you what that means in a moment. However, we can get unleveled items like this leather tunic, which we can use at any level. So I will buy that at a cost of 8 copper coins, and we do trade. Then we go to this, our roster, where we can manage. So here is the character. She is rank inept. If we manage this character, you can see here we can switch the rank: inept, aspirant, novice, adept, expert, master. So this changes what is equipped on the character at each level of match that we buy into. So for example, if you buy really powerful master level armor, you can go on here, change it to master, and then equip your master setup for that character. Hope that makes sense. At the moment, because we are inept, we can only use inept level items, right? So we go to inept, we go over here to our inventory, we find the thing that we purchased, put it onto our character, and it appears in the character's inventory. Now we have a tunic which provides marginally better coverage than we had. So we should now have that, in our inventory, and it will automatically be equipped on the character when we buy into a match. You can see there is an outdoor area there. That was always just a sneak peek of the outdoor area, but this is the matches that are currently available. Now you have to buy into a match. You have to pay a fee to enter, and then you win more money back than you paid if you win. If you lose, obviously you either die or you go back here wounded, having lost the entry fee. So there are various different kinds of matches here. Pugilism, as I said, is fist fighting. Challenger is a powerful, like a higher level duel than the level of the match you're going into. Pugilism again. Elimination is basically like the practice arena, one match after another. Duel, just a one-on-one duel. The Beast is where you fight a giant ogre. They are very tough matches, as you can see. 8 silver coins to enter at Adept level, 8 gold coins if you win. So, very, very likely that you will just be pummeled into the ground by a Beast. Fray is 6-man duel, every man for himself, last man standing. They are a very easy way to make money at low level because the reward is usually high, and there is a way that you can, at inept level, just make them win quite easily. So let's go for a pugilism. So it's 1 copper coin to enter, 4 to win. Of course, you are not killing the person here. You are simply knocking them out with your fists. So these matches tend to be quite quick, and it can go very quickly wrong for you because you have to get so close. You don't have the reach of a weapon, only your arm's length. So you can double click to do a kind of short range uppercut, which is useful for breaking their guard, but if you get too close, you can see you end up in a scuffle. neither of you can really do any damage. So I should recover that HP because that was just impact damage. Yeah, that's come back. So we are now very slightly richer than before. Let's do a fray match. I love this tavern level. It's the map that it puts you on for each battle is just randomly decided by an RNG when you start the game. Now, as you can see, there are a total of 6 people in the arena in this case. And what we can do is, because these are inept level CPU players, they're not especially highly developed AI at this difficulty, so you can stand back and just let them fight it out. Sometimes it can take a while because they're so stupid, but you just simply let them do their thing, and you can see them smashing, knocking things over and stuff. Every item has realistic physics and completely accurate hitboxes, which makes the game's environmental physics extremely fun. There's one down already over there. If you simply just hang back and wait until there's one left, makes the whole thing a lot easier. Also, they're quite cheap and not that fun, but it's a good way of building up a little bit of money when your character is not skilled enough to go into higher matches. So there we go, there's just 2 of them left now fighting each other. Once one of them's down, that person will be probably somewhat weakened as well. What can quite often happen in fray matches is that when there's one person left and they come for you, you just hit them once and they go straight down like a sack of spuds. And this guy has a sort of a workman's hammer as his weapon, a one-handed hammer. Can be fairly nasty, but not one of the weapons that you really need to worry about at this level. The meat cleaver, this item here, is really bad when you aren't properly armoured. Same with the sledgehammer. One good high velocity swing of the sledgehammer to the side of your character's head can knock them unconscious or even kill them in one blow at this level, so you need to be careful of those. So let's go for another pugilism. Here we see for the first time an outdoor arena. Very cool looking. It looks dazzlingly bright when you're used to the normal environments of the game. The detail is awesome. I'm just quickly going around showing it off, but I guess we can have a look at that if we survive this match. The selection of matches which it gives you each time you view the board are also somewhat randomly decided, so sometimes you just get the same kind of match over and over again, and you get like well practiced in the muscle memory of these pugilism matches, and you can just win them effortlessly in like 5 seconds. But when you're used to weapons, it is quite different. Normally I'm just baiting them into punching and therefore dropping their guard, but I'm being caught in the side swings, as you can see, so I might actually lose, but that doesn't actually matter in pugilism because you are only knocked unconscious. And I'm really doing very badly at this. But the other person has better... Oh, I just got them. Okay. Better coverage of clothing than we have, so they were kind of soaking up hits a little better. But we are going to recover all of that when we leave the arena. So we'll just have a quick look around here. This is like the environments they've been showing off in Sui Generis. These huge multi-leveled isometric environments. Well, not ISO technically, but, you know, top-down, classic CRPG looking. But, like I say, this amazing purpose-built engine allows these huge modular environments to be rendered with seamless kind of content streaming in them. It's really nice, and the sort of texture detail is great close up. You can see these kind of flagstones and the bits of moss at the sides, even creeping up onto the stone wall. The other thing is that this introduction of outdoor environments has also given has also brought with it certain time of day and weather conditions with it, which also appear to be somewhat random depending on, you know, the match you go into. So sometimes there's like an evening one where it's all low light, sometimes a nighttime one where these huge sconces at the sides are lit up with fire, sometimes it's like overcast, not sunny, with lower shadows, and it can be raining, and sometimes it's like heavy rain with thunder and lightning. So it's all really great sort of atmosphere. So let's go in again. I'll do a few more. Let's go for a classic sort of a duel. Here we go. Here's the same arena again, but at night time. You can see the sconces are lit, so you get the longer shadows. The dynamic lighting is incredibly advanced and works basically completely on its own, with its own systems. This means in the main game, when you open and close a door, when you open a door, for example, the light from the room that you were in and from the room that you are now able to look into becomes visible, and the room lights up. So what I mean is, when you are in a dungeon and you close the door behind you, the room behind the door goes invisible because your character, there's casting no light that your character can see, if that makes sense. I'm not explaining it very well. I apologise for my appalling vocabulary. I've just woken up. Okay. That was cool. And that guy had a sledge, which is a a weapon that makes me very paranoid. Let's go for a challenger match. You can see it's 6 in, 6 copper to go in and 1 silver to come out. So challenger is a duel, basically, but with a slightly more advanced character. That means that if we're on inept level, they will be the next level up, meaning like novice or aspirant or whatever the next one is. It's good with this metal bar. It's all about the velocity of the impact. So if you can get them on the head with a good swing when they're open, it does far more damage than simply whacking them in the arm. They appear to have a more advanced sort of a cleaver. This update has added around about 20 new weapons and items into the game as well, including like bardishes and stuff like that. It is kind of a... That's the kind of thing where the weapons are added so dynamically with a lot of RNG and that kind of thing that it can take a while for you to see and become familiar with the new items. And because this update only came out like maybe 12 hours before I recorded this video, all I've really been able to see so far is the outdoor arena. And some other things that have been improved, like dual wielding. But as I'm sure you'll agree, the combat is incredibly cool to watch. The way the characters move and stuff, it's so convincing, but it feels just as good as it looks. And since I originally made videos of this game, the combat has been improved so dramatically. The weight and balance of your character when they move. It used to be that they looked really drunken, and they would like lose their balance far too often, and the swings would just seem too dramatic. But as you can see, the way the character rights themselves after an attack looks quite realistic. That is something that has dramatically improved over the last year of this game's development. And the reason why this Prelude thing, Exanima, exists for the large open world version is because it's a way of allowing players to play the game and its systems as the systems are developed for Sui Generis. So once this game is complete, all of the combat systems and the magic systems and stuff like that, dialogue systems, and systems by which the terrain and environments are rendered, they are all going to be just ready to build the full game with, right? So it won't take quite so ridiculously long to make. This guy has a polearm, which is a particularly annoying weapon because it has this huge reach and this horrible piercing impact on it. So, as you can see, it does a lot of damage, and it can be very nasty to get around. Very easy for them to block attacks. Have to be a bit more tactical with it, but there you go. Got them on the head. You see what happened there was that they went in for an overhead, dropped the weapon down to the ground, and then I timed my own overhead to just clump them on the top of the head with a giant metal bar, which took them down very quick. We didn't lose enough HP to not recover it all, which is good. We can't do doubles matches because we only have one character in at the moment. Let's just see if we can buy any more equipment, then I will do one more and end. So, what are you selling? Booties. Tough leather boots, that could be pretty good. Leather boots. Yeah, let's buy them. What else? I'm wondering if these boots are new. I don't remember seeing them before, but they might be new. Cloth tunic, we already have that. That's an adept rank. Chain shirts. Superior cloth leggings, that's a novice rank, so we can't use that yet either. Yeah, let's just buy this. And then pop it on. Okay, so we'll go over here, same as before. Pop them on. It's in our inept setup now, and they look really cool, like quite goth. I like them. And we'll go and do one more, and then I will end, and just pop them on here as well because, you know, why not? So what have we got? An inept. We can only do the inept ones, so we can only do one match at this point. So we're going to have to do another fray, even though they take quite a while. While obviously it is a lot more fun to just get straight into the fray, it's far too unpredictable for me to risk at this point. When you're well equipped, you can take them on. For now, I'm just going to let them sort themselves out again. But it gives us a bit of time to watch how the AI sets itself up for attacking and deflecting. Especially when there's 3 or even 4 enemies fighting one another. One guy will swing one way and then someone behind him will just clomp him in the back of the head. The combat is so dynamic that you have to make every attack really count. It's just so satisfying. It took me, in the main sort of dungeon crawl of this game, I had 8 hours on my Steam activity clock for the game before I even managed to complete the first floor of the dungeon. I really didn't understand at all how the combat worked, but I was just having such a great time failing that that is just testament to the quality of this game and how unique it is as a product. Now, I took a risk on backing Sui Generis when the Kickstarter campaign ran in 2012, right? Obviously, we are a long time behind schedule on the development of that game. Many years later. But I've already got my money's worth. I think I paid £20 for it. So what, $25, $30 equivalent for the product. And I have already clocked well over 50 hours on Steam on this. And you know, another probably 20 or 30 on the DRM free copy which you get by backing the project. I also get full alpha access to Sui Generis and of course the full game of that for free when it is finished. So you're essentially getting 2 incredibly deep and engaging games for a very good entry fee, and the developers are led by a guy called Maddock Evans, who his career was kind of set making virtual reality systems and designing game engines and graphics engines. So that's where his background is, and he built this engine all on his own. in his spare time, and it's so ridiculously deep, the things that it can do and that he can do. So it really is like not just, I mean, it's a very niche game. I don't think it's for everyone, but for what it achieves as a product, it's amazingly deep, and I love it. I don't love this person swinging an axe at me though. I do like her lilac trousers though. Very dandy. Die! Come on! Oh, I'm getting careless. Thrusting attack! There you go. Alright. One more, or should I end now? Yeah, let's do one more duel, and then that'll do. And he had to have a sledgehammer, didn't he? At low level, it's the weapon that you just kind of hope they don't have. Because it can really fuck you up in like one move. Come on then, buddy. Come on. Ah, in the back of the ankles. See, to someone who hasn't played this game, this might actually just kind of look like what I'm doing is waiting for them to be open and then attacking them with the metal bar, but there's so much more going on. If you do like a basic attack like so, then that's what happens, but if you face one way and attack, you can swing round on your own axis of your body, as you can see, which gives you not only more velocity and momentum on your attack, but allows you to dynamically get around the side of the person and like attack the side where they are blocking, that kind of thing. With the thrusting attacks, you can go upwards and downwards. It's just like so, the physics of it are so amazingly deep. Anyway, I will end this episode here. Now, what I was thinking of doing, what I wanted to do with this game, because I love it so much, is like an ongoing series that I wouldn't be making videos all the time. Sometimes there will be like gaps, but it's just something I want to keep going back to, so I will. And yeah, I don't know, you know, like how many I'll do, how I'll do them. I will at some point do the sort of dungeon crawl as well as the arena. But I just love this game, and I love kind of showing it off to people and stuff like that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, do please press the like button. That does really help me, and I'll be your friend if you do. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and see you next time. Goodbye!